Aiding the pursuit of knowledge is a top goal for the three newest members of the International Space Station's Expedition 37 crew. Dr. Oleg Kotov is a native of Simferopol in what is now Ukraine. But as the son of a Soviet military officer, he grew up all over Russia and had his sights set on the military for his own career by the time he finished high school in Moscow.
I decided to become a military officer as well, like my father, my grandfather. However, I kept dreaming about space, and while I had to select my major, I was very careful about it, and I became a military surgeon in the area of aerospace medicine.
After graduation from the Kirov Military Medical Academy, Kotov went to work at the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center as a doctor, studying altitude physiology and the effects of spaceflight on the human body. At the same time, he studied diagnostics and methods of pilot selection and also earned a degree in patenting. In 1996, he entered Air Force Pilot School and was selected for cosmonaut training. He made his first spaceflight in 2007 and completed 2 spacewalks as a flight engineer on Expedition 15. He did another EVA during Expedition 22 before becoming commander of the station for Expedition 23 in 2010. Kotov then served as deputy chief of the GCTC before starting training for this mission, which presented another opportunity to fulfill the human instinct to learn new things.
It's a desire to understand the world around you, to expand the area where we live, to explore the space, Mars, Moon, other star systems. So it's a question about a desire to learn something new.
Dr. Sergei Ryazanskiy is a rarity among Russian cosmonauts, one who was born and raised in Moscow. As the son of engineers and a grandson of Mikhail Ryazanskiy, a leading Soviet engineer specializing in missile and spacecraft radio guidance, Ryazanskiy had his sights set on a career in science at a young age.
When I was a child, I wanted to become a biologist. So I was studying in a specialized school where we were majoring in biology, so I knew that I would be a scientist. I think I knew that since I was in the 6th grade. I knew that I would try to go to the Moscow State University,
where he graduated with a degree in biochemistry and went straight to work at the Institute for Biomedical Problems at the Russian Academy of Sciences. His specialization in ways to prevent the adverse effects caused by the absence of gravity got him involved in the space industry and sparked an interest in becoming a cosmonaut himself. In 2003, he was selected to join IBMP's Cosmonaut Corps and completed basic training at the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center. In 2006, he earned his doctorate in physiology and space medicine. And in 2009, he was crew commander in a 105-day-long isolation experiment known as Mars 500. By 2010, he was certified as a GCTC test cosmonaut, which he calls the most interesting job in the world because it combines so many things.
Anything you can think of is combined by this profession. And being part of this industry is very interesting. You have new technologies, new approaches, and you're always on the edge, so to say. You always know the latest developments. It's very interesting to live this life. It's very interesting to train for this life. That's why I became a cosmonaut.
U.S. Air Force Colonel Mike Hopkins is from south-central Missouri, born in Lebanon and raised a few miles away on a farm outside Richland. He credits his small-town upbringing for his getting the chance to try everything in high school, not only football and other sports, but all school activities, and for developing his interest in engineering.
My father was a pilot in the Marines back in the early 60s. He flew A-4s, and so there was aviation in my family. So that certainly piqued my interest in it and my interest in space. My desire to become an astronaut started back in high school.
Hopkins headed to the University of Illinois to study aerospace engineering. He also walked on to the football team. and ended up as a starter and a team captain by the time he graduated with his bachelor's in aerospace engineering and a commission in the Air Force earned through the ROTC. After finishing a master's in aerospace engineering at Stanford, Hopkins began his Air Force career in a laboratory working on space systems technologies. Then he moved on to become a flight test engineer, even spending time as an exchange officer at the Canadian Flight Test Center in Alberta. In 2002, Hopkins won a scholarship to study political science in Italy, after which he was assigned to work in acquisitions at the Pentagon, and then as a special assistant to the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the job he had when he was selected as an astronaut in 2009. He's the first member of his astronaut class to fly in space, and eager to use his mission to try to help satisfy our desire to learn.
Humans are always striving for knowledge, for knowing what's beyond the hill, for knowing how each little thing works in our world. Whether it's the human itself, whether it's anything within biology, the physical world, all of that, we have this desire to know as much as we can about that. And the space station, the International Space Station, fits right into that.